Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Jaina from Sunspaces. Today I'm going to be making my tried and true soil mix for you guys. And I think I figured out what the problem was for sure with my last one that killed all my plants. So I just went to get it out to use the container that it was in. And this is really gross. But it was covered in black mold, which proves my theory to be correct that it was way too dense and retained moisture a little bit too well. And I think this is what happened. So what I used is cocoa coir, which is a coconut husk that's been like ground down into like a finer mix, and it's usually used for like the bottom of terrariums for reptiles. And you have to rehydrate it when you use it, and for me, I rehydrated it and I don't think I let it dry enough, so it was really thick. My apartment is like 70% humidity, just like ambient, like just on a regular day, and so I really like needed to dry that before using it because it was just way too much moisture and it was way too compact for all my plants. We're gonna be making my favorite mix today. It's something I use pretty much for all of my plants. First of all, most of my plants are aroids and Hoya, so I'll just show you guys what I like to do. I'm going to be making just a smaller container today. I was going to make a bigger one. From now on, I think I'm just going to make small batches at a time, because when I leave this soil just like sitting like in the closet, it just gets moldy. This is the second time this has happened to me. But not really with this mix, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna just do it right here on this table. I've got all my ingredients next to me, and I'll just show you guys and let you guys know what I like to use. I also got a matcha that I haven't even had a sip of yet. It's been sitting here for like 30 minutes because I've just been gathering all my supplies. My cat is sitting right here. So anyways, let's get started. All right, I just adjusted the angle a little bit so you guys could see hopefully better. So I've got my container here. And first I'm going to start with, this is labor intensive, you guys. Okay. This is my favorite soil mix, and I just get it locally at the nursery here. I think it's got nutrients in there. It's got earthworm castings and whatever that is. Yeah, I don't know. Fox Farms Ocean Forest soil. So I'm gonna open this and I'll add just a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna fill this thing maybe like a quarter of the way, or maybe a third of the way with this potting soil. Looks like it also has perlite in there, but you'll see I like to add a bit more than the pre-mixed bag for my aroids. Okay, I'm gonna start here and we'll see if I need more later. Next, I'm gonna add some perlite. I'm gonna add it just to like this, like maybe less than a third, something like that. I'd recommend wearing a mask. Okay. See, it's so dusty. Next, I'm going to be adding some horticultural charcoal. This is pretty good for like mold, I believe, or I'm not really sure. It's good for, let's see. Oh, this is good for absorbing and sweetening odors in the soil. And it also helps to improve drainage because it's chunky. But I don't really like a lot of this, just a little bit. So I'm going to fill this little space here. That should be good. Next thing I'm going to add is a little bit of the finer orchid bark. This also just helps with drainage. I like to use probably A little bit more than the charcoal. Because I'm also going to go in, maybe a little more. I'm also going to go in with some thicker orchid bark. I'm just going to add this just a little bit. We'll start there and we'll see if I want to add more. I also just got this from my local nursery. I'm going to add a little more worm castings, even though it was in that original soil, like the first soil mix that we put in. I'm just going to add more because I have a huge bag and I might as well. For this, I just put like half a cup. Just like that, just like get it all around. This is good for nutrients for the plant. And then this next thing is optional, but again, I just have it on hand. I'm honestly not sure if this is, I don't actually think that's what it is. This is, I think this is Osmocote. It's like a slow release fertilizer. If I'm wrong, I apologize. I just add like a tablespoon to this mix. It's just a little extra. I used this when I used to make my own pond at home. Now that's it. I'm just gonna mix it now. And that's really everything that I put. I'm just gonna go ahead and mix this thoroughly. And I like a very, very airy mix for my aroids. Forgot about my matcha. I'm just gonna go through now with my hands and get all the extra soil that's at the bottom here and get it in there. All right, to me this is looking really good. I like to call this my cookies and cream soil. And that's kind of the consistency that I like to see. And then yeah, this orchid bark, I would typically like a little bit smaller pieces, but it's really all that I had. It's fine, it'll work. Finally got a good mix here that I can go ahead and start repotting my plants. And now for the fun part, I'm gonna go around and grab some plants that desperately need to be repotted. And I will be right back. Okay, first plant we're gonna be doing is my Anthurium Hoffmanii variegated, I think. No, that's not what this is. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have been forgetting the names of my plants lately like crazy. Completely forgot what this is. I'll insert the name on the screen, but I repotted this in that soil that murdered all my plants, so I'm just gonna get it out of here. There is a little bit of root rot, but not so bad. Yeah, I think that if I were to have watered this one more time, it wouldn't have survived. Yeah, so it looks like the very tips of these roots are kind of rotting off, if you can see. It's like really stringy at the bottom, so I'm gonna just give it a little bit of a trim. Definitely not putting it back in this pot. I think that is too big, so I need to find a pot that's a little bit smaller. I hope that the leaves don't get upset at me for this. They might. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go find a smaller pot. There's one right next to me. There's actually this one right here. So I'm going to repot this one in here. Little layer to the bottom. I got a layer at the bottom. I'm gonna just put the plant in now. Good luck, I love you. Anthuriums like in my experience, a pretty chunky soil mix since they are epiphytes. So we're gonna start with that. And I think this looks pretty good. It's got a nice light feel, and I will water this later on. I'm not gonna do it right away. And I'm just gonna do a light watering this time because the soil wasn't completely dried out last time, so, but this was kind of an emergency. So this is plant number 1. I still can't remember the name. This next plant that I'm repotting today is my Alocasia frydek, or technically Alocasia micholitziana. It's just been living in this cup, and the roots, if you can see, are just coiled around the bottom, and there's no drainage. So today we're going to be putting it into the same pot that I just showed you. You guys, I'm such a baby. Someone was outside my door and I was like paranoid. I'm going to be repotting it into the same pot that I just repotted the other one into. So, I'm going to be very gentle because there may be corms in here. This thing is a bit root bound. These are pretty healthy roots, so that's awesome. I've had this plant for so very long, and you wouldn't believe that this is probably the biggest leaf that I've had. This is literally one of my first plants. My husband actually got it for me. Like, I started getting into plants in like 2018, and he placed an order on Etsy for like a bunch of Alocasia seedlings. And this is one of them. Wow, it looks like there's no corms. I mean, this is a pretty small plant, so I think you can chop this stem and propagate it. I think I've done that before and it worked. But I'm not going to be doing that today. Next thing I'm going to do, I think I'm going to go rinse this real quick. Okay. This is pretty lazy of me, but for plants that don't like a lot of orchid bark or like a little bit more of a moisture retaining soil mix, I just kind of avoid the bigger chunks if I possibly can of orchid bark. And instead of like having 2 separate mixes. Aw, how cute. I really like these pots. They also have a matching saucer, but they're somewhere in my plant room. But yeah, I hope this one appreciates the pot. Next plant that I found is actually, I don't know what it is. I actually don't know what this is. It's some type of Rhipsalis or something. If you know what this is, I would love for you to let me know. It reminds me a lot of a Rhipsalis, but I don't know which one. But it's been living in this pot since I got it. It's like a tiny 2-inch pot, and I don't really know how the roots are looking, but I want to just give it a little bit of an up pot. I don't feel like disturbing the roots too much, so I'm just going to kind of shimmy them a little bit. That's honestly all I feel comfortable doing, because I don't want pieces to start falling off like that. And I'm going to very slightly up pot this into this like 3-inch pot, because I don't want to shock it. And I really love this plant. It's been growing well, but I've been watering it like twice a week, so that pretty much means it's time for a little bit more soil. This has just been so fun to grow. It really kickstarted my love for Rhipsalis. I just found it at my nursery in that tiny pot for probably too much money. It was like $6, but I just thought it was too cute to pass up. Alright, just a little upsize there. Cute. And now I can put it in the new planter. Let's see which planter I actually want to put that in. I don't really have anything, but I did find this little jar that I got at Goodwill. Maybe I'll go there today, actually. That sounds fun. And see what I can find. But I actually think this is pretty cute. Yep. Mystery plant. That's cute. I'll water this in a few hours because it was a little moist. This is my Spiritus Sancti. As you can see, the roots are coming out of the bottom. So I'm just gonna put it in this 4-inch pot. And I think it could use a little refresh. I'm gonna be very careful because this plant has been a little bit difficult for me. I don't want to lose this root either, so I might have to cut the pot. These roots seem pretty healthy, so that's great. My space is so messy already. I'm gonna rinse this once again. Only the best for my Spiritus Sancti. This might be a little smaller than necessary, but I'm not taking any risks. I thought about using like a moss pole or something as well, but I'd rather not. And that's not bad. Pretty cute. Spiritus Sancti. It looks a little floppy, but that's kind of how they look. I've been looking at photos and they kind of look like that. So it makes me a little nervous, but I think it's fine. I'm just going to be patient and gentle with this plant and see where we go. I need to find a cute little cover pot for this one as well. I like to keep this one elevated because the leaves hang down a little bit. I thought I would spice things up a bit and do a larger plant. I've got here my Philodendron tortum, which I absolutely love so much. This is one of my favorite philodendrons. Mine's been growing pretty slowly, and I don't think that's typical for this plant, so I think it's time to repot it. There's some roots coming out the bottom. If you can see, this new growth here has been taking so long. So I'm going to set it free. Oh my god. There's a lot of roots. What the heck? There's a whole like branch. This is the soil that it came in. That's a whole branch. I do not like this soil mix that it's in. What time is it? Oh my gosh, you guys. This is embarrassing. My watch is an analog clock. It takes me a little too long to read it. Can you see my cat? No, I don't think you can. He's just off the frame. He's so cute. I think this is good enough. Just leave this here and see what I can find. Yeah, I need a bigger pot than this, so let's see. I've got this black one, and then I got this white one. I think I like the more narrow one. Yeah, for sure. So I'm gonna go with this one. This might take a lot of my soil. That's okay. I can quickly just mix up another batch because I have everything here with me. In fact, I think I will do that. I think this is going to be so much nicer in this soil. Looks good. I love it. I love it in this black pot also. I think it just brings out the colors a bit more. Put a little more soil. Very, very happy about this. If you can even see the leaves. Philodendron tortum. Next, I have here my sad looking Philodendron majestic, one of my favorite philodendron. Mine is in sphagnum moss and it desperately wants a repot. So today we're going to be doing that. And I actually will be putting this on a moss pole, my favorite moss poles, and I have it soaking right now so that the moss is moist. I've already built it and it's been used before, so it's ready to go. I'm just going to remove this from the sphagnum. And as you can maybe see, it is full of roots. So this is going to take a little bit of time. Looks like I have 3 plants in here too. I just realized that I should probably call my husband and tell him to get something from my brother-in-law's house. He has some of our furniture that we recently got out of storage, but we just moved it to his house. And I would really like to, well, this one didn't root. That's interesting. I would really like to have it because I want to refinish it, but then again, I would need to probably refinish it elsewhere, so I probably won't be able to do that here. So then we'll have to end up transporting the furniture all over again. Which, whatever, it's fine. It's just like bedside tables and what the heck do you call it? Like a coffee table, which I really want. Because I could actually film on that instead. I got a new microphone, if you can see, but I'm actually returning it. Because I got the wrong version. I need the one that goes onto my camera. So that actually is arriving today. Not in time for this video, but I thought I would just get a little trial run out of this other one. It's the DJI Mini. I got the like mini version on Amazon, like the cheapest one. And that one you can't hook up to your camera, so I will be exchanging it. Oh my goodness. These roots are really, really like fine. So it's very challenging to get it out of here. I'm going to remove that leaf because it's yellow. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so time consuming. Hello. There's 3 more. Oh my gosh, there's 4. Okay, let's turn her over and do the back. Thank you guys so much for watching my Hoya collection video. It was so fun to make. I loved like actually seeing all the Hoyas that I had and talking about them. I used to have many more, but I sold a lot of them because I don't know, I just started getting back into philodendron and anthurium and I just needed more space. And they also were growing really fast and I didn't have space for them because, like I said, my cats really love my Hoyas, so I have to keep them contained in my IKEA greenhouse cabinet. So once they outgrow that, I really don't have anywhere to put them. So unfortunately I had to downsize my Hoya collection, but I still have quite a lot. I have 45. And there are some other ones that I want, so I'll have to be like rotating them in and rotating them out and things like that. I still want to downsize my entire collection. I actually want to downsize to around 50 plants, if possible, 60 max. I made a list, but I've gotten some new plants since then, so I might have to revisit that list and see, because now I actually want to, like, I need to like declutter my plant room and make it more of a living space and less of a plant room. So yeah, that's the plan. Unfortunately, I say unfortunately, but I'm actually really looking forward to it. There are a few plants in my collection that I love, and there are some that I like but are not doing well and like don't bring me really any joy anymore, but I just have this like sentimental attachment, and that's just not sustainable for me anymore. So I have to be a little bit ruthless and just pick which ones actually do make me happy and aren't a big headache. So yeah, I may bring you guys along with me on that journey and document, you know, how it goes. So just stay tuned for that, I guess. I have too many hobbies for my own good. Like there's just not enough space in this apartment for me to have like everything that I enjoy. And I've also found that the more stuff that I have, like even though they're all hobbies, like the more that I have just readily available to me, the more stressed I feel, even like trying to decide which hobby to do. For example, like I love reading and I love painting and I love crocheting. I love my plants, but just seeing all of my hobbies just like all over the place, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I want to do that, 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 but I don't have all the time in the world. So it's been a little stressful. So I want to get my guest bedroom more, you know, into a like living space than a hobby room. Like I still probably will have to keep my stuff in there, but more in like an intentional way rather than like a storage room. We did it, you guys. I think we finally got most of the moss off here. That took forever. So I have 3 plants. I'm going to put them all together in that moss pole. I'm just gonna toss this one because it looks like it's got some weird stuff going on. Oh, I also need to figure out what pot to put it in. I have this one here. I don't know if it's gonna be big enough for these 3 plants plus the moss pole. Actually not bad. I don't know. We might want a little bit of a bigger pot. So I think this is gonna have to do for now. I got this little yellow pot just to keep it like upright, and I think it's cute actually. So first of all, I mentioned that I already like moistened this moss pole. I'm going to add a little bit of soil inside this like top area here. I definitely need more soil actually. That is the hardest part. Now just a little more to keep it sturdy. And just going to stick it in. I definitely wish I had a little bit bigger of a pot, but it's okay. It's okay. Pushing the nodes against the back wall of the moss pole and then holding it there And I'm going to fill it in. And then afterwards, I'm going to tape the nodes to the pole with some Velcro. Little by little. I love this plant so much. I'm actually really, really happy that this is getting done today. Are you still recording? Okay, good. I think this is gonna be good. I don't need to tape these bottom ones yet because they're fine, but I will tape this top node here. I found this pot at Goodwill. I think it's really cute. If you can see, there's like little flowers. I don't know if you can, but I'm really happy with the way this looks. And I'm going to, okay, let's see. I'm gonna see if I can find some tape right now. So I have this green tape that you just Velcro. Make sure I get a big enough piece. And I'm going to put it, I'm actually going to do two. I'm going to do one right here. It's a little too long, so I'll save this for another plant that I need later on. Cut another one. And then I'm gonna fasten it to this top leaf so that it really roots into the pole. And there we have it. I'm pretty confident that this will root into the pole in no time because these poles are just great. And there's a lot of room at the top for me to add sphagnum moss later on. This pole is like pretty tall. It's kind of cut off camera. And there we have it. I'm so excited to update you guys on the growth on this thing. All right, that brings me to the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching once again. I'm really pleased that I was able to get this done today, and I finally got some plants potted up just in time for spring. It's starting to get warmer around here a little bit, and the days are longer, so I think this is the perfect time to just like get all my plants potted up. Funny enough, I'm gonna have to make another mix after this video, but I hope you guys learned something. I'm definitely not like a professional, like a horticulturist or anything like that, but that is my favorite soil mix to use, and it pretty much works for all of my plants. I just adjust accordingly. Like sometimes I don't put that much orchid bark, but yeah, I just wanted to add a lot of aeration this time considering what happened last time. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.